Do you struggle with data management? I sure as hell do. It's the perennial struggle of being a professional photographer is all these digital files got to live somewhere, right? And the more you shoot, the more space you got to have. And I've tried some different solutions. I've got a NAS in the basement, and it's so slow to interact with. I do not love that. I had a 20 terabyte platter drive that failed, and now I need to do data recovery on it, but then I didn't have enough space to move that data anywhere. What a nightmare. It's not my favorite time of my life. My hard drive's maxed out. This other little, I shouldn't unplug that right now. I've got a little SanDisk drive, the SanDisk Pro, and that's a terabyte. That's maxed out. The thing to blame for all of this maximum usage of my iCloud is maxed out, my iPhone's hard drive's maxed out. It's because I started shooting so much video. That's the real problem. My iPhone's maxed out, and I've got this new Fuji. It's 40 megapixels, and I'm shooting 4K on it all the time. I lowered the quality down after it started taking up so much space, and it's like I don't need like 200 megabits a second for little YouTube videos where I'm just like this, which could be on the iPhone, but I might as well use this because it's much better. And I love it. I love it more. And I like the idea of looking like more approachable. But I got the gear. I'm a photographer. It's a photography channel. We can have a little bit higher quality here and still be personal. Like, look, I got my mess here. I got my little projector screen where I was watching The Expanse last night, and I got junk down here. It's human, right? I'm in my pajama shirt, and we're gonna get right to the point. I needed more data, and I needed it now. And what I really want is for it to feel like my internal hard drive is bigger. And that means I'm on a Mac Mini, can't have more internal storage, but I looked into getting a little SSD. So B&H, the only place you should be buying your camera equipment. I mean, I guess you could buy from Adorama or whatever you want. But anyway, B&H is my place. So what I discovered is that Thunderbolt 4 has a maximum throughput of like 40 gigabits a second. 12 of that or 16 of that is reserved for display. So 32 or something, 26, 30, I'm not doing math. 24 megabits a second is the data throughput that you have. Anyway, what I discovered is that about 300 megabits a second is as much as you're going to get from an external hard drive and in like data storage performance stuff. So I've got the M1 Mac Mini back from 2020. I did a scan of the internal drive, similar performance. So the drive in my computer that's already like pretty fast does about 300 or 3000. And so an external drive that also does 3000, it's going to feel like native. So I didn't need to go nuts and get a Samsung Evo Pro because that 7000 like read-write speed, I can't use it, right? So there's no point in paying extra for that. So if you were getting an external hard drive, where what I went with was an enclosure, which is Thunderbolt 4 or USB 4. So the 40 gigabits a second, it's just like it's as fast as that bus speed is possible, right? So it's as fast as you can get for an external drive right now, current technology. And then again, there's no reason to use a drive that's any faster than 3000. This is 72,000, but it was the cheaper instead of the Pro one, which is like a little faster for a lot more money. And then we've got a little bitty Thunderbolt 5 cable. This should be a pretty simple little setup. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is an NVMe solid state drive. This is the current technology for the fastest drives. Let me show you, if you're watching this, you already know, right? If you're a photographer and you're dealing with tech and hard drives, maybe you don't. Maybe this is your very first video that you've ever seen about using external hard drives and internal hard drives, but there's been a big evolution in different kinds of drives. You got your really old drives, like if you watched Silo, and they found the old clunky hard drive with the platters in it. That's what we used to use. And then we got the little solid state drives, which I'm not gonna go get them for this example. first they're small, and they're about the size of this one. Let me detach it real quick. So you've got your internal solid state drives, which are, okay, come on, let's go. Let's go on a little road trip. We'll just unplug this camera. Hey, get out of my way. Okay, here it is, people. This is your old school hard drive. This is from many, many years ago. This is a Western Digital Raptor from who knows what year. And what size is it? 40 gigabytes or something? Is it 80 gigabytes? Okay, so this is what your old hard drives used to look like. But this is SATA, so it's the fastest connection speed that you could have back then. And then after that, you got these little solid state SATA drives. And you love how I just got mine like sitting in here. This is my Windows computer. This is my gaming rig. I don't use it for much else. There's the 20 terabyte hard drive that's going through data recovery. Here's an old Radeon Vega 64 that my buddy gave me. Dustin my little brother gave me the rest of the components in here to replace my mega old computer when he upgraded. And then I've got more of my little SATA drives in here. Some there, and then some right here. You can tell that this is not my priority, right? I barely play video games anymore. I barely use this thing. The only reason that my big hard drive is in there is because when I looked online, people are like, data recovery is easier on Windows. So I set up the Windows rig. Here's the monitor for it. So using this thing isn't my priority. And I love some video games, all right? I love playing Skyrim. I love playing Cyberpunk 77. But I love working on my photography business more. I love doing this. This is so much more fun than playing a video game, to be honest. You know, I've had some moments that I really enjoyed. Ooh, there's my pen. The Sharpie S Gel, excellent. Excellent pen. And I like playing video games, but it's not as fun as the like satisfaction of having actually accomplished something, of actually making something, you know? And so like making these videos, even if nobody watches them, is more exciting. Making the prints, trying to get this thing back to life. I'm gonna probably have to pay some money for that or buy a new one. But we're gonna get to all that another time. Let's put you back on the thing here. So what we saw in that little tour was the older technology for hard drives. And you can see I still use them, like that computer. There's no NVMe drive on that computer. There's no blazing fast hard drive on that. They're fast enough for that stuff, but not amazing. So for external drives, this is in that same class. It's the same style of drive. This is a SanDisk 1 terabyte Extreme Pro portable SSD. So it's the same kind of thing as what's in that computer. And this runs over a USB-C. You know, I don't know exactly the difference between Thunderbolt and USB 4, so I'd have to look into that some more. I don't follow the tech as closely as I used to. Now I'm more in the art and creativity side. It's not that I'm like computer illiterate, but this is a couple levels down in like what's the difference between Thunderbolt 3 and 4 and USB 4. And you know, if you know this stuff in the comments, you know, have at it. Tell us what's what. Anyway, this thing only clocks in at about 900 megabits a second. So like a third of the speed of my internal hard drive. And platter drives top out at like 450 megabits a second. So if my internal hard drive is 3000 and this thing is 1000, which is still, it's decently quick. And then the platter drives are 450. And then moving stuff to my NAS is like even slower than that, which I don't love. So like for me, the NAS is like cold storage. It's like, I hope I do not need to get anything off here. It's just like if I desperately need a file, I go get it. And so it's like when I'm done working with something and I'm like, I will not need these files again unless like years from now. That's where they go on the NAS. But I want my other stuff, like all the photos that I haven't gotten to editing yet, I want those on my faster storage so that I can get to them and work on them without some nightmare. So that's where this bit of kit comes in. And sorry that I gotta move this thing so I can look at the lens and not look at myself, because this is every video I'm like, I like me. I wanted the OWC enclosure, but B&H was sold out of them. And I saw a cheaper enclosure on Amazon for like 50, 60 bucks. But, you know, trying to support B&H instead of Amazon, you know how it is. And this thing looks kind of cool. It looks a little more portable. The OWC one was all just like a bunch of fins. This, ooh, it's got a little rugged silicone thingy on it. I didn't even know. And it's got, yeah, so this one's actually kind of portable in a way that that OWC one isn't. And it's good that I have something portable because this is my main portable computing device, my iPad Pro. And so having something that can interface with this, very nice, that I could take somewhere, you know. Not that I really want to take my, like, all my critical stuff with me, but it's also being everything that's plugged into the Mac, backed up to Backblaze. And so highly recommend that you keep all of your stuff stored safely online. And so my objective is to get this thing going and try not to make this video too long before this webinar that I need to be on. It's so teeny. Look at this. Let's get zoomed in there. Come on, Fuji. Let's see it. Let's get right up there. Whoops, I threw it right out of the box. Oh, I didn't order any thermal paste. I hope either the drive or... I should have ordered thermal paste. Shit. The drive doesn't seem to have any, unless it's in here somewhere. Oh, it came with a cord, so maybe I can return that cord I got. Is there... it looks like they've got a little stickies. They got something in here that I can use. That hopefully will do the job that thermal paste does. This is USB 4. I guess I don't... It was like $20. I could maybe return this. Oh, let's zoom back out. Will I return this? I don't know. I could have another cable. Doesn't hurt. Okay, so I could dive in without reading any instructions, which is not really what I recommend to anybody. Let's see. That was with the hard drive, so we'll put that back right there. I wonder if that sticker is supposed to come off of there. This is where, if you're very familiar with this stuff, you might be like, what is this guy doing? So we can pull out, this definitely looks like some little thermal pads. Is it better than thermal paste? Thermal paste is what we used to use back in the day. Here's, you know, for like when you're putting your CPU in the computer and you're attaching the cooler to it. But like I said, kind of gotten away from the PC building for a while. I just like to just buy a really nice iPad and be done with it. And move on with making photographs instead of tinkering with computers. Are you going to describe anything about how to get into this thing to install the... Okay, thanks a lot for that. Do I just pull the rubbers off? Oh yeah, it's very flexible. Ooh, it is metallic and heavy and cold. This is nice. I like this. Let's see. Is it hands-free? Do you just... Yep. So I just pull it apart like that. Oh, this is nice. I love this. It's pretty cyberpunk, you know? Oh, by the way, the brand is Hyper. And it's the Hyperdrive NEXT USB 4 NVMe SSD enclosure. It's a cool looking thing. It says EcoSmart on here. Made with recycled materials. How about that? So, whoop, there's a little rubber thing to put our NVMe in here. I'll bet some of you are having a nightmare that I'm just like tossing this stuff around. But that's who I am. That's what happens when I have multiple cups of coffee in one day. I can and should probably have fewer. Surely this label is supposed to be removed to expose these. There it is. That's where the memory happens. That's where the remembering happens. I need a little plastic splooger, whatever the spudger. It's like a, you know, again, another term that you would need to be using like the iFixit website to know that stuff. This, you know, this is exciting because this is my very first NVMe. Never had one, never used one. My little brother got into, you know, this sort of work, building computers after I did, and after I kind of lost interest in it and stopped playing video games and stuff. And so he's all up on what's new and good in the tech. You didn't get to see any of that. I should have angled the camera down. Shall we reinstall it for you? This is not a video head. Anyway, it was very, very simple. This. Here, I'll take it back out. NVMe slot right here. Let's move the camera a little more and down. I'm in architecture photography, so this is a bad old Manfrotto 410, and so I'm using the gears here to move it, and it's not a nice experience, I think. Focus on this. Focus on this. Focus on this, Fuji. Can you do it? Can you do it? Let's press the autofocus button. Where is it? There we go. Hi. What was I saying? Oh, I should put my fluid head over here. I'm not using it for anything else. Okay, there we go. That's all there is to it. I just use a little rubber thing, grabs on the edge there. We're going to take this little thermal pad, and I guess it's just going to go over the top right here. Let me not get it dirty. And I'm going to cover both of the little memory modules right there and this little thing over there. If you don't know, computers get hot when they think a lot. And so when you move the data real fast over here, it's going to get spicy. Hopefully not too spicy. That's nice. That's all there is to it. See how easy that is? You see, you can pay for a pre-made solution like this and pay plenty of extra, or you can get this sweet little dude and put your own hard drive in there. And then we'll put our little rubbery guy back on it. Who's being at me? Oh, yeah, I do need to go prepare for this webinar. That's backwards. We want to line the plug side up with this thing, and then go that in there, and in we go. Okay, that's all lined up. Let's try. Oh, I should do a test between this USB 4 cable and this Thunderbolt 5 cable and see if anything's different. So let's plug that in. I apologize about the state of my desk here, but we'll go. It's got wires on wires back here, and up, and down, and over, and focus, focus, focus. Video focus, yes. Okay, we got our dusty loop deck here for my photo editing. Okay, we're going to plug this into the USB-C on the back of the Mac. And then we're going to log in. And let me, disk is not initialized, okay. So let me close all this stuff so you're not distracted by all that I'm doing on my display here. Let's see, Samsung SSD 990 Evo. Okay, so let's zoom up and out and up and out and up. And if I do like this, then I don't have to record screenshots for you, and I don't want to do any post-production on this video. So we'll just do like this. While you're up there looking at this, I'm going to put this stuff away. So I'll put that back in the bag for my, if I ever replace the hard drive with another one. And we'll try to put this back in the bag. I will deal with this later. That is not my priority. Put that in there. This is the Samsung drive stuff, which goes back in this box. And I'll put this back in this box. And I'm just talking to you while you look at my monitor. Hope this is entertaining content. This goes back in this box. This goes back in that box. This actually goes back with that. We'll just stuff that in there. And this right here. And put that back down there and there. Out of the way. Okay. What do we want to do here? I want to zoom out a little bit so you can see me still. And I'm going to darken the room a little bit more. So I'm going to go over to my window and close this curtain. All right, it's incredibly dark in here now. But if you're a nerdy cyberpunk kind of character, then that's your jam. I apologize if I'm speaking too fast for any of you viewers. I know that it's important to speak clearly and concisely and slowly, and that's why I'll be attending Vin's little class on communication in just a minute. We're going to go with a race, and I want a file format that can be recognized by Windows. Let's see. So, Mac format drive for Mac OS and Windows. File format, exFAT is the only format that can be read on both OSs. It's not the most efficient format. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it exFAT for now. This is so that I can get my stuff off my other drive. And then once I've restored it, I'll go back for a Mac only. So we're gonna go exFAT. Oh, what are we gonna name it? What are we gonna name this drive? We gotta think about this, all right? For some reason, Explosion came to mind, so we're gonna name it Explosion. Mounting disk, oh, done. Explosion. All right, Explosion's up. That only took a moment. Let's see, that did not, oh, that's my hard drive. Okay, and we got 4 terabytes of free space on Explosion. Okay, so now we're gonna bring up Amorphous. Amorphous Disk Mark is a Mac port or version of Crystal Disk Mark, which is a very similar looking piece of software for testing your drive speeds. And choose. And this is the basic test. I'm just running around the same test. Just 1 gigabyte read write. There we go. And that's about what I expected. That's about all the performance that I expected to receive in here. Can we get, I mean, you can see it. And there we go. Write speed's pretty low. That's not great. But the read speed's great. So it's fine. Here, let me find the message from my messages just crash. Where I sent my brother a screenshot. Okay, this is, so the read write on my internal drive is, yeah, messages did, yeah, whatever. Where's the focus right here? Focus on our screen, yeah, so you can see my internal hard drive is 3000 read and 2000 write. And then this external drive, we got 3000 read and 2000, or 1000 write. It ain't great, but on the writing, but the read speed is plenty good. And for reference, this is the performance from the little, this guy. So that's, you see, only 900, and then 918 for the write. So this will read very fast, and it's okay that it doesn't write blazing fast. I can deal with that. We're gonna switch to the Thunderbolt 5 cable and run this test again and see if anything changes. How about a little light while we do that? So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna not cut my computer monitor while I do this. All right, let's see if this is any better than the cord that was bundled with the hard drive. So first things first, we're gonna hide my messages, and we're going to eject the Explosion. Now we're going to disconnect. Now we're going to switch to this cord. It's shorter, it's beefier. Is it more powerful? Let's find out, shall we? And we're gonna wait until it comes back up, or do I have to restart Amorphous? Or is it just not going to work with this cord? Is it not compatible with the Thunderbolt 5 cord? It's not showing up at all. Disk utility. Okay, is that something that I need to know? I thought that this would be backwards compatible. Okay, that's a no. That's a total no. Let's switch back to the other cord. Yeah, it popped right up. Okay, so I guess the answer is you can't use the Thunderbolt 5 cord with the USB 4 drive. Is this not a Thunderbolt compatible drive? Because that's what I looked for. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Like I said, the performance is pretty good. I don't know. I might. I don't want to buy a different enclosure. But if getting a different enclosure will get me better write speeds, then I probably would want to do that. All right, listen up, internet nerds. I need to know if I switched to a different enclosure that ran on Thunderbolt 3, 4, or 5, could I get better write speeds out of this drive than that? Let's run the test again. And there were only 3 drives at B&H available, and the OWC was back ordered. Thunderbolt NVMe Enclosure. I spelled enclosure wrong. That's Thunderbolt 3. And 1500 read write. What I like is that on Amazon people will post their some person said it didn't last. Drive not recognized. Performance. Give it a second. If this is not the best way to test drives, you let me know about that, okay? Okay, so that Sabrent drive is what? Oh, was I any different to? Nope. You know, I didn't want to have this big lull, but I watched a YouTuber the other day who just like goofed off and fed his cat for the last half of the video, which was kind of funny. Let's see, Thunderbolt NVMe Enclosure, 40 gigabytes. Yeah, sure. So this is the one that I was looking at, and it is half the price of this Hyper thing, and I feel like people dig. Oh, maybe that's the thing with the Evo. Maybe the Evo has lower write speeds than read speeds, and the Pros have the higher write speed. That could make sense. And if that's the case, maybe paying the difference is the way to go. How much of a difference does it make? Let's see what the price difference is. B&H. So we're going to go Samsung Evo 990
4 terabytes. And then we're going to go Samsung Pro. That's okay. It's $50 more. So will it write twice as fast for $20 extra? I'm gonna have to ask some people on Reddit or something. I don't have these answers. All right, we've been going for 30 minutes. If you're still watching, I can't believe it, and I really doubt it. So if you are, write data in the comments, and I'll send you something nice. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.